she asked about like what, when Dad was little, you know, what did he have? Did he have toys, or was there anything? And
Yeah,
basically,
you call it horse and buggy, horse and plow.
basically there were no toys. But I wondered, since you were one of the younger ones,
Pitchfork and a shovel was
Yeah,
probably his
oh,
toy.
yeah.
but what do you guys remember from your childhood as far as
Christmas maybe. And
differentiate from what our dad remembered?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we were poor. I mean, and you know, people say we were poor, but we didn't know it.
We knew it.
But we were poor and we knew it.
Hmm.
And I lived in, I think I counted about 6 houses before we moved to Lesueur when I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade. So in Ghent we lived in, for me anyway, from my birth until I was in the 3rd grade, I think I lived in either 6 or 7 houses. And there was always an old rented farmhouse, you know, type thing, whatever.
And how come you had to keep moving?
Well, the farmers either, I think in some cases where maybe a farmer's son or daughter or son got married and needed a house, or the, maybe, I don't know if they had whatever kind of rent or whatever. So I mean, I don't really know, but I know I went to Marshall again and took pictures of all the houses that were still there.
what year were you born, Tony?
32.
Okay, so you're right there in the middle of the height of the Depression.
I'm the Depression baby.
Yeah.
So you don't.
Is it over?
You don't. I don't know. I'm feeling rather depressed now. So do you don't remember anything then, obviously, too much. I thought I remember a story where you almost died because you ate field corn. Is that just
was
a
Dad's
legend?
old
I
story.
war.
You didn't have anything to eat this winter, during the winter, and you went and tried to cook the corn from the corn crib,
That could be.
and you got deathly sick from it because you were too young to digest that.
You don't remember that?
Oh, I remember this. I remember this.
Remember that yet?
I remember the story well.
But you don't. Okay, because
But there's parts of it that I don't think I want to tell. I'm not going to discuss the cure.
oh man, poor thing.
So, no, I mean,
You don't want us to videotape that, then, obviously.
no, I don't care what you videotape. That story. I heard the story about
Perhaps that's sweet corn, you can eat it if you eat it when it's soft.
So when you went to school,
I mean, I like corn too, you can.
Dad
But
always
you-
talked about
but
not
you
eating
can't have hard
kids, and well, I think kids were not very sensitive to people who were economically deprived. Like we try to be very sensitive nowadays. But was it that way for you too?
Oh, absolutely.
Then, like, what were some of the experiences? Like, what happened? How
Well,
did kids pick on you?
Oh, I mean, it's just now you would call it bullying.
Yeah, you would.
I mean, you would call it bullying, but in a way, I mean, I think it makes you grow up. You know, you have to. I mean, personally, I don't think you can, protect kids from all the bullying that's going to take place. I'm not sure that it's good idea to do that, but no, I mean, I went to the parochial school in Ghent, and then I went to the parochial school for about a year in Lesueur, and then to the country school till I think the 7th grade, and then back to Lesueur High School, and the junior year came to St. Peter. But the thing is, when to be able to go to school with the idea that you're going to learn when you're living under this, really poor conditions. I mean, I can see why my grades in school, oh my God.
Were you
I wouldn't even dare to show you my report cards.
speaking, your home, your mom mother and father, were they speaking English when you were growing up?
Both. Ma would start a sentence in English, throw in a Dutch word, and then there are certain things, I talked about this to my buddy Ziegler about how she decided what words would be Dutch and which words would be English. And like a dish rag, that was a scuttleduke.
A skoodledook?
Scuttleduke.
Skoodledook, I kinda
Skoodledook.
like that.
And a dustpan was a blick. And the,
I really like a blick.
and the church was a
Awesome.
catech.
What?
Catech.
Kerk.
What was that?
Church.
Oh, church, catech.
So, yeah, and
Which
so
is
I
very-
she, but
yeah.
other words, I never figured out later what or how she decided that certain words would be Dutch and other ones, why it was, you know, I mean, a blanket was always a blanket, but why, you know, she never picked up on a blick being a dustpan or a scuttleduke being a washer, a dish
Why
rag.
would you?
Well, Kirk, actually, that's an Old English word for church as well. The Scottish people called their churches kirks.
Yeah, Kirk.
K-I-R-K, yeah.
So I don't, but Pa could speak German quite well, and because this one German person came to the farm, they spoke German like it was his native language.
Yeah, that was Peakaway.
Oh,
Yeah, he could speak German well.
I hear it when you're talking to him. I
But
was, yeah.
I don't remember, I thought about this later, Pa didn't do that where he'd have a Dutch word in a sentence, in an English sentence, but Ma did, for whatever reason. But the other thing that I became aware of when, you know, in talking to people and they'd say, oh, this or that, was a big factor in our life, I think, our lives, was that we didn't have any relatives. None. For instance, if you take your life and you say, okay, no, I have no cousins, I have no grandparents, I have no, you know, we had no the only relative was Uncle Bernard in Wisconsin.
Yeah, but why she wanted
who we had
to.
never seen. But we didn't have any grandparents, we didn't have any cousins, we didn't have any uncles, any aunts, any. So this is where I think that was a big factor in our family, that there was no other
nobody
people
to
than
speak with and exchange
yeah, just our people to
ideas.
that would do things, you know, that if they saw things that they, you know, would give you that lift up that, you know, that I think kids need.
Right. And what about your
From a
parents? Did Grandma and Grandpa have like friends
friends,
around
yeah,
a
they
lot
they
and have a
friends,
good community
but
of friends?
Never over to the house. I mean,
Miss Reba was.
yeah, once or twice maybe.
Yeah, she did come over.
No, we didn't, I mean, they had, you know, acquaintances and go visit on Sunday afternoon or something like that, but but eventually it all worked out, I mean.
Mm-hmm.